On this episode of the Digital Fireside, Luke and I talk about the ProJared situation and controversy, as well as the consequences of returning to real life after internet fame.
Well, I think that this guy, Adam, is...
Yeah. I'm talking to you, man.
That's not his real name. But...
You know who you are.
Yeah. He's so intense. He just is like, yo, we have a buy one, get one off, half off sale. You know?
Because if you're not going to buy, he's
do
going
it.
to kick your ass.
You're going to be saving this money. You need to do this. And he's got my number pulled up on the system so he knows my name, my address probably. My list of childhood fears.
Maybe he's upset with King Kong. He's just like, that fucker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's a sore spot for you.
Well,
got a lot of flack.
Well, that's how Jibs follows me on Twitter now, which is pretty cool.
Wait.
Yeah.
Like which Jibs?
The guy who sang the song.
With the chain hang low?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. That's fucking awesome.
He just saw everyone trending. Or I don't know how it worked, but it was April 1st or April 2nd. He's like, why am I trending?
I haven't done shit. It's been since 2007.
And then there's people messaging like, are you a part of Ben Drowned? He's like, what the fuck is this shit?
All right. Who the fuck lumped me in with this bullshit?
Yeah. It was pretty
Jibs. Fuck, dude. I was 7th grade when that
I know.
shit came out.
I must have been freshman maybe in high school in that song.
That's crazy. Time flies.
It does, doesn't it? It's interesting how 2019 I feel like is almost this weird culmination of long time running stuff. Have you noticed that where it's like, hey, Avengers is ending. Mm-hmm. Game of Thrones these are multi-year, almost a decade long, and in some cases decade long franchises.
Etika. Decade long franchise. We'll smell you.
Devil May Cry 5 came out after 11 years.
And with that terrible performance, that franchise is going down too.
They actually were really pleased with the sales numbers that Devil May Cry 5 did. So they said it in their earnings report. So we will see more of that soon. And when Dante is announced for Smash, it will reinvigorate hype for the franchise. So tune in. I'm going to say June. I'm still holding fast to that.
What, E3 and San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah, it's going to be E3. He's going to get announced. He's going to be like, hey, you know what? Here's Dante.
I'll probably throw my controller against the screen if it was.
I will buy a Switch just for that, and then I'll buy the Devil May Cry 1 for $50 because they're probably going to sell it for $50.
And I'll be really disappointed. Wow, this was really good for the time, but this is ass right now. Especially after you played Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It happened with me in God of War. I played God of War 4 first. I had never played the other
amateur
ones.
Shit. Man,
and I loved God of War. Well, God of War 4, but. And I played the free PS Plus God of War 3 remastered. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is awful. But I'm sure it was really good.
It was. I bought that game
but
from my
after
roommate
you play
in
that
college.
one, you're like, oh man, this is not.
It was pretty remarkable. I mean, it wasn't like.
It's more cinematic than game to me.
Yeah, it really was. That was the biggest. They were trying to say that was a contemporary to Devil May Cry 5 or Devil May Cry back in the day, and it just there was no depth to the combat that I thought.
Yeah,
but
square.
Dude, I watched a trailer from, I think it was IGN the other day. I think it was yesterday, about World of Warcraft Classic.
I saw that too, and I saw.
I kind of am really considering diving back in
because you did.
I did.
You were in it.
I was in it. I played.
Leroy Jenkins and all. You were in it.
That was before me.
That was before your time. Okay.
I think I joined in 2006. It was the year before the first expansion
Leroy Jenkins
came out.
was 07.
No.
Yeah.
No.
YouTube's 2005.
But
Leroy
they
Jenkins
had
is 07.
no. See, it was called. They had a different version of it. It was called Warcraft Movies. I think there was this website back before YouTube where you had to download each video.
Oh yeah, time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, but that's how
it was like
that was around
share?
before.
LimeWire type thing?
No, it was. I think it was just direct downloads. You just download
That's
the MP4.
Actually kind of revolutionary. That's actually before.
Kind of. I mean, It was interesting. But that to me, I don't know what it is about that. I'm so fascinated by that stuff. And I think they get me every time with every expansion where I will 100%, and I've done this with every expansion except for 2, I think. I will buy the expansion, be like, oh, this will be fun to see what's going on. I'm like, I'll play it, and I'm like, man, this is fucking boring. And then I'll just let my
what does
subscription.
it for you? Is it like something like you thought it was gonna be a lot of action, and all of a sudden it's a lot of story?
No,
Something
see,
like that?
I think I just keep on trying to get that feeling recaptured of like
it's
my
not gonna
first. I know it's not going to happen. So like I feel like, oh man, they're announcing all this cool stuff for the whatever. I mean, I bought Battle of Azeroth and played for probably 14 days. I'm like, this is. You did it again, Alex. It's the same thing again and again.
What does that for me is I know I'm, in my mid-20s now, but when they're coming out, I was younger. But the Lego games, they did that to me. That feeling like the first like Lego Star Wars, like, oh my God, this is awesome. And all of a sudden, every single one, iteration, Marvel Super Heroes, all that stuff comes out. And I'm like, oh, it's just getting worse and worse. Even though it's probably a better game, and I know I'm getting older, so it's, obviously you get less into it, but at the same time, I'm like, I still love Marvel Heroes, like I still love all that stuff, so that this should be a no-brainer for me. But I'm like, this is not it. Like, this is not fun. It's the same way, dude. I don't understand what happens. I hate growing up.
Yeah,
I hate it.
It's overrated.
Except Sly Cooper does it for me every time. It's the same game every time, but every time it's fabulous. It's unreal every time. The greatest game of all time, by the way.
I can't
Sly
even. I can't really understand why I get excited every time, because I think I remember when I was a kid joining. I don't know how I didn't get very far in rating when I was playing the original one, but I was kind of a loser in high school.
You don't say.
Yeah, really surprising. But it took me a little bit of time to kind of figure out, how to not be this lanky, awkward, nerdy kid. And so I had plenty of time on my hands, and I played, I think it was Wrath of the Lich King, maybe. That was maybe the game.
You should have linked up with Gordon Hayward over in Brownsburg.
Oh, yeah?
He was around the same age.
Huh.
You graduated in 08, right?
High school?
09. 09? So, yeah, he was like 07. You're around that same age.
That's crazy.
Should have linked up with him, you nerds, lanky.
Well, we actually,
nerds.
at some point in high school, a bunch of us got this guild together of people playing World of Warcraft, and it was an incredibly nerdy time, and that was pretty fun. But I think I joined another guild after that, and I think there was this period of time, I think it was the summer before I went off to college maybe, or maybe the summer before that, and just having that free time and just no responsibilities. I didn't know the pain and drudgery of existence as an adult yet, so I'm just like,
that's definitely it.
That's great.
If you had the time, because that. Speaking of Gordon Hayward, he has the time to play.
Who is Gordon Hayward?
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
He's a Boston Celtics basketball player. He went to Butler.
Oh, okay.
He's the guy that.
Oh, that Gordon. No,
Yeah.
I really don't know much about sports anymore.
Hometown, but Indiana hero kind of.
Oh, okay.
Took Butler to the Final Four. Almost made a shot against Duke. They lost on the national championship game by 2. They would have made that. They would have won.
I bet that doesn't eat at him.
He's an all-star, and he is an advocate, a real big video game advocate. He's technically a dual athlete because he's
kidding.
Esports. He plays League of Legends. It's
This
his
guy
life.
sounds awesome.
Well, he is. You should look him up. Gordon
Yeah.
Hayward, yeah. And so that's why I was saying, you should look up because he's a big League of Legends guy. He gets all I don't know. I don't play it, so I don't know the rankings and stuff like that. But he's really high up there.
How cool
And
is that?
so it's a legit thing. It's not like those guys like Michael B. Jordan who say they like Naruto and stuff, but don't know how to pronounce it.
I bet he's never Naruto Ninja ran.
I was saying, if you've ever seen the show, they say that name 10 million times. You would know how to say Naruto Shippuden. He's Naruto Shippuden is when he has look it up. Michael B. Jordan Naruto. It's a funny thing. I'm sure he likes it. I'm sure it is, but don't go out here and try to be one of the guys now that it's cool to be a nerd. I don't know. But you did bring up guilding. I never got a chance to do that stuff because
it was so much fun.
I want to do that now. No one wants to play now. No one's to do that stuff now.
This is what I'm saying.
I want to join that stuff.
That right there is the whole appeal to me. Yeah. Where, I'm like, okay, I've got some flexibility-ish. I don't have kids. I don't have that kind of responsibility
that you know of.
That I know. I don't have kids. Delete this. No. But I don't have those kind of fiscal responsibilities. So I kind of have maybe an opportunity, maybe my last opportunity to do this kind of weird wish fulfillment thing again with World of Warcraft Classic of like, hey, join a guild. I feel like I'm looking at this through rose-tinted goggles because there's no way that this stuff has aged well. I mean, they were clearly, like, objectively, if you look at World of Warcraft now, at least what I played for the 14 days, and like, God, I think it was like $75 basically, because you buy the expansion, you got to pay for a month. Anyway, I'm not mad. Anyway,
it sounds like there's a little salt in there.
So it's like that game plays very differently than it did 15 years ago. So I'm wondering what it's going to be like for me diving back into that, and like what lessons maybe other developers are looking at this, because I bet you there's a lot of eyes on how this game is going to perform, because they're taking an old 15-year-old game. They're not remastering it. They are literally, they had to go back in and recreate network issues.
Yeah.
Like literally network issues. Mm-hmm. So it is the authentic experience.
But they're probably like, wait.
Yes.
So you're saying they're not fixing them. They're recreating them to where, like, if it lags here facing whatever, it will lag there.
There were weird, and I had to read up on this because I wanted to sound more informed when I came on today. But, like, there were little things that happened back in the original World of Warcraft where they're weird because it's from 2004, 2005, that infrastructure there where there's some, like, server client-side stuff where if, like, for example, if a warrior uses an ability that it's a gap closer called, like, charge, so it'll zoom in really fast at you. People found out in World of Warcraft Classic that if you jump right as the other player hits the charge button, it won't charge you within weapon swinging distance for the guy. So this is really technical. I'm sorry for our normie listeners, but
I'm right there with you guys.
So I'm trying to break it down in a palatable way, but it would throw off the whole charge, the engagement. So like that would be an exploit that you try and predict that. Obviously it's a bug. It's not meant to happen.
Right.
So they patched that out a long time ago. And now over the past year and a half, they had to go back and try and recreate that. Like, how do we redo that? I think that's so
and make it
fascinating.
like seamless almost.
Yeah.
Not make it seem like, oh, well, because people are going to try that.
Oh, for sure.
As soon as they get it.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think this is actually kind of a first where no video game company has really done something like
I
this
don't
ambitious.
think so. Because they would always remaster. Like, I mean, they'll put out old video games that remaster it or whatever.
Final Fantasy VII, whatever the hell. Just remake it.
Yeah.
Or remaster it, but they won't redo the things they did wrong.
I know. Like, that to me is so fascinating. And
it's
like,
pretty cool, actually.
I want to see, because it was a totally different game because, you had to do everything. Every convenience that they have in modern gaming wasn't there because it didn't exist. So they basically have to, you have to do all this stuff manually. That seems like such a pain in the ass now, and I just wonder how people will react to it if they really wanted that to begin with. Because, for example, like if you go in a dungeon, are you familiar with MMOs at all? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so a dungeon is basically like this instanced where it's like, hey, it's just you and 4 or 3 other people going through this fighting the boss, whatever. And now when you play World of Warcraft, you just say, hey, I want to do a dungeon. You hit this button that says, hey, find me in a group. And you hit, okay, and then it will match you, like matchmaking. It'll match you up with people pulling from all different servers. And you'll get a group within a few minutes. Yeah. And then you hit accept, and you'll be all transported to the dungeon.
See, that's different than the MMOs that I've played. My favorite one is, I don't know if you heard Neverwinter.
Yeah.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons one. I'm pretty far into that one. And you just go in, and then people come in with you. It's all connected. It's not like you have a party or have a mission to get together. And the same thing with Marvel Heroes. When it was Marvel Heroes Omega, I got into it because on PS4 it was accessible to me. I don't have a PC gaming setup. And RIP to Marvel Heroes because Gazillion the company went down, but it was a phenomenal game, and everyone was really upset about it just being abruptly turned off.
Was that like Diablo-ish? Like where it's like isometric?
Yeah, it was top down.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
And what happened was, I think it was something to do with Disney and the rights and stuff like that.
It
But
doesn't surprise me.
it was a game from 2015, so it was a while. But then 2018, it got canned in December or something. No, 2017, it got canned in December or something. But what I'm saying is that it's very different from getting a group.
Yeah,
you just go seamlessly together.
But that's not how it originally was. In the original World of Warcraft, you had to like meet up with these dudes and go on this. It was almost like a little adventure in and of itself, is trying to get your ass to the actual entrance.
Oh, so yeah, that is what it was.
Yeah, so like forming that group sometimes took longer than actually doing the actual dungeon. It was a pain in the fucking ass. I'll tell you that much. I remember that from young Alex back in the day, and I think
a South Park episode.
yeah, it was such a pain in the ass. So it's like, I can't imagine if people will be that interested to do all that stuff again. But I think there is a niche for it at the very least. I think people want to have that sort of sense of accomplishment by this almost masochistic time investment. And I think it'll be really interesting. Again, I think a lot of developers will be paying attention to how that game is received. And it could be weird. We could get this weird like resurgence of old trends that were 15 years ago popular that fell out of favor now. But because World of Warcraft Classic comes out, I think in August, and it catches on, it could catch on. I don't know, man. Like,
so why do you think they're doing that though? Like, if you're in the community, I'm sure that you're not probably like holded by the ear or something, held by the ear, like, oh, what's World of Warcraft, what's Blizzard, all them doing, like. But at the same time, you'll hear something if it drops, right? So, like, in the community, I guess I should ask: has this been fiended for? Have people been buying for this for a long time? Why are they coming out with a classic? What about that has made? I know you laid down some examples about why it was so fun for you, but as like a masses, like, why is the appeal there for another redoing?
So take that example of how easy it is now to get a group and run it, versus how much of investment it was to do it back then. So take that and almost apply that convenience to take that convenience that exists now and apply that to almost every aspect of the game. So a lot of things have been streamlined in a way to make it accessible to a lot of people. It's easier to get to max level. It's easier to do X, Y, and Z. There's no real, sense of, I guess, community anymore, because all of it is just like, hey, this is just going to matchmake. If I want a PvP or if I want to run an instance, this is just going to matchmake me across the entirety of the BattleNet. So I don't really care about forming relationships and bonds with people on my server.
I get my XP and
it becomes very automated, and it's just like a very weirdly impersonal way to play a massively multiplayer game, because it's just like everyone, because I'll do a dungeon, or I did a dungeon back when I resub for that regretful 14 days, and I'm still upset. I could have spent that money doing something else, because so far it's like the 5th expansion and I've done the exact same thing every time. I'm butthurt, whatever. Anyway, so
I have something to say, but go ahead.
So when I did that one instance, I joined in with I think it was a warrior guy, and no one said a single word to each other the entire time.
Just breathing?
Because there was nothing. There was no text chat or anything, because they have made it so massively appealing to everyone that you don't have to worry about any mechanics. It's just like it's this brain dead like experience. Yeah. So we just all ran it through together. No one said a word to each other, and we left. Boom. And I'll never see those people again.
So I know we briefly talked about this like right before we started, but you're looking for like a Ready Player One type experience.
That's what it was.
So where it's like, that's Percival, or that's H. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, like
and then
that's what
you try to find like, I'm gonna be at the Lava World at 12.
Yeah.
Try to find me there. Let's do it.
It felt
and then
like
you have
a weird world.
5-person group every time you log
like
on.
It's
you have
100%.
Sundays to get on. And
dude, they had 40-person like raids that you had to do. You had to get 39 other people together to fight this gigantic thing. It was crazy. But like that's kind of what it is. It felt, and again, some of this is probably, rose-tinted goggles because I was 12, maybe 10 something, and everything felt like the concept of a massive multiplayer game blew my mind. But you would have it where people accrue certain kinds of reputations or notoriety on servers by being assholes. Like there was one guy, for example, on our server, and because it wasn't like match made, like the people that you saw on that server, that's who you PvP'd with, that's who you ran dungeons with, that's who you interacted with, everything. So you got to know these kind of people. So there was this one guy, he was a rogue who could turn invisible, that basically sat out on the other players' like newbie like landing zone place, and it's just like as soon as they cross this line to flag them for like, hey, this is the real game now, so you're flagged, you can attack other people or whatever. He just would sit there and just one shot them, kill them over and over and over again. So he gets such a reputation that on the forums, people would just be cursing and saying, like, this fucking guy, God,
every single time. Like, I got killed by blah blah blah.
Yeah,
me fucking too.
Yeah, yeah. So like, it was cool. I don't know. It's a weird social experiment that is. I mean, there are millions of people that are probably going to be playing this game.
So how do you think it's going to rate then, like by reviewers? Like, how do you think it's going to?
I don't think it matters. I think that game could be. I don't even know how you rate that game now.
Right.
Like, I don't think that no one's going to read review for WoW Classic and be like, oh, I got a 60. I'm not going to play it. Like you're.
I'm saying, but you can't. But even when you review it, you can't really hold it back for its flaws, because a lot of people have flaws like, oh, we passed this technology 10 years ago. Why is it not better? And like a different iteration. They can't say that because it's supposed to be what it was.
I have no idea.
One reviewer that's not going to be on that.
What?
ProJared.
Oh, man. I didn't know who he was until I logged onto Twitter one day, and it's a guy I follow. His name's Main Event TV, and he
shout out,
and fucking. It's just a picture of this dude and his dick, like on Twitter. That's my first interaction with ProJared. That's my encounter.
It must
with
have
him.
been magical.
It wasn't, except for the fact that he cosplays as the fucking Sailor Moon person as well. Which I'm not going to shame someone for doing that. Whatever, do what you want on your own free time. But,
right.
That was not my ideal first exposure.
Somebody, but he was one of the OGs. Like he was one of the OG game reviewers.
What's with all these OGs? Just
what's going on with all the YouTube community?
Yeah, what is going on?
I don't know, guys. What is going on?
I want answers. Like, this is fucking weird.
This is something this is a Utopocalypse.
Yeah,
I'm calling it right now. Utopocalypse.
Utopocalypse.
I don't know who's gonna go down next.
Well, so I ended up looking more into this guy because I figured I've already seen his dick, in for a penny and for a pound. So I went over and
if you're gonna get this, if you see his dick, you gotta know the guy.
I gotta know the backstory here because whatever.
Tax reasons.
Tax reasons. Yeah, just write it off. So I saw the weird thread of like, I guess he was cheated on his wife, got caught.
Mm-hmm.
And it blew up in a very public way that I would almost...
it was because he cheated with someone that was like in his videos quite a bit, for like Dungeons & Dragons like reviews and stuff.
Really?
So it's like someone who's often on his channel that people like, like if some girl came here, right, every other episode, right, instead of me or something, people would be like, are you guys dating? Or are you guys doing something? Like, they draw their own conclusions. It's one of those type of guests to where it's like you can draw your own conclusions, and then it ends up being true. Like, yeah, we are sleeping together. And that's the person that's like Holly something. That's the person that got caught with him. And she was also recently divorced from another YouTuber from like Game Grumps.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And so it's just a whole, cycle of orgy fucking. I don't know what's like, what the fuck's going on.
Is that against the community guidelines to say that?
It's YouTube, baby. I don't know, but yeah, it's a weird situation to where like they came out with like a public statement.
I saw that. It was the dumbest shit.
As if he was like Steph Curry cursing on the court to the refs, like, you gotta explain that, buddy. We need a statement. You're getting fined.
Yeah, I was reading that shit. I was like, is this from like fucking Prince Harry? Like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? Like, Jesus Christ. Stop exposing so much of your personal life on the internet.
Literally exposing yourself.
I've never... It's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know what it's like to go through a divorce. I have had a friend that has gone through a divorce. I can't think of any worse way to go through a divorce than to have it also be, like, talked about and discussed by thousands of strangers
Right.
that have no idea
Nope.
what you are, who you are, like as the real person, and like are giving their 2 cents on your own fucking divorce. Like,
and that's part of the discussion we had with the Etika thing. Is not now you're in the personal space now.
yeah,
You have to separate that if you choose to be YouTube famous.
that's so
And then now you can't be like he's trying to like go back to like as if nothing happened and shit. Like he's like tweeting, I won't be at the thing this year, but I hope you guys have a good time. I saw that tweet. Like I just looked at his tweets to see like his most recent tweets. Like
was his wife like, you were fucking this girl? Don't forget that.
and it's literally like, damn, like you're really like, gonna act like we just forgot like 10 days ago that this happened.
Yeah.
And then some people were just giving him hell under that comment, which is great. But I do want to read something. Like I asked my friend what he had to think about.
Well, before you get to that, so just so I am crystal clear on all this stuff, so ProJared was a prominent YouTube reviewer.
Yeah, he wasn't like in the millions or anything, but he was very well known.
So what did he
like
do
a game
exactly?
reviews mostly. So like console game reviews.
So he would just
AAA
like,
titles, all that
okay,
stuff.
so he'd just be like, hey, this is the game. Like,
That's what I thought about it.
that's what I thought about it.
Here's my grade. Go buy it.
I love my wife. Not that much, though. I mean,
That was like 5 years ago. I loved my wife.
oh, yeah.
But yeah, and then it was Holly Conrad is what her name was. But yeah, not looking good for him. He and on top of that, I forgot about this. It just reminded me. He was also on top of that, like a couple years, probably like 2016 or so. He was like sexting underage girls.
What?
Yeah, like sending those pictures you saw to them. That's how that. Like I think that's how that picture leaked because someone still
Jesus
had it. And
Christ,
stuff and shit.
man.
They have the receipts. Like they
know-
they have the DMs, whatever the hell they texted on.
There's a low-hanging
there.
branch of, like, his name, but I'm not going to... I feel like it's just disingenuous. It's just like, well, he's Jared after all.
Oh my
He's gotta
god,
fight.
ProJared Subway. Dude, shout out Subway. What a place.
That's a great plug. I'm sure they love
apparently
to be
they're going to ever since Jared they've gone. So we'll see how that
All
shit
right,
happens.
so
but yeah,
okay.
this shit was he used Tumblr to solicit nudes from fans using the name Sin Jared. He went on there looking for Sin.
Jared. Jesus Christ.
Maybe he was a fan of Johnny Sins. I don't know. You have no idea who Johnny Sins is.
I have no idea. I'm
He's a
sorry.
porn
I'm still in
star.
disbelief. Oh God.
Oh my god, he's the bald guy.
What bald guy? Never
He's
mind.
the
I don't.
bald guy.
Jesus Christ.
But okay, so yeah, under that tweet though, before I get to that, his tweet, he goes, "All right, guys, I won't be able to make it to the descent this year, but I hope everyone attending has a great time." And underneath that, someone goes, "This ain't it, cheat." Or they'll say, what a funny one was, pro tip. The pretending nothing happened and hope everyone forgets cheese strategy works a lot better when you give it more than 2 days. And then this is my favorite one.
Just found out that I had a wife. Damn, that shit sucked. Jesus
It was like
Christ.
a Snapchat picture.
Ugh. God, dude, I don't. I don't. I'm trying to think of something I could say productive about this whole thing. I just don't.
You can't.
I don't get it. I just don't understand in this day and age why sending lewd photos of yourself in a public way to someone you don't necessarily know is ever a good idea.
No.
Is ever a good idea. Like, it's just, I don't know. Jared.
So let me read what
All right.
my friend said. All right.
Okay.
Shout out Pete. All right, here we go. Well, I asked him, what's your take on this? He said, well, I'm someone who really has no problem separating a person's work from them, so my views on his channel aren't going to change. Pretty solid. But as far as the situation goes, not a fan of infidelity, so that's an automatic fat L. And he took it above and beyond from crossing lines online to actually fucking someone else. Soliciting nudes from underage people is another monster L. Not one to kink shame, or I think he meant kick shame or judge people on their interests, but going to go ahead and tack on another L for that. In this case, for the cosplay dick pics. Do we need to know about the whole situation? Probably not. It's different than Etika for sure, but not too far off. When you're a part of a community like that, things are different. When you cheat on one person in a community with another person in the community with former ties to another big name in the community,
God.
all while doing sleazy shit behind the scenes with members of the community, it's going to come out and your reputation is history. He made the choice to build a platform and standing in the community, and he made the choice to betray not only his wife, but also his friends. So in conclusion, fat L with the meme of Floyd Mayweather throwing L's at the screen.
It'll play great for radio. I appreciate that. So I guess, does he have his real name out there? Or is he just goes by ProJared?
It's Jared, like, it's like one of those.
Fuck. Okay. So
I don't know if he's American or not.
Well, that's maybe one of the bigger things I think that people don't always think through is because of this stuff on YouTube, it can be so volatile, especially when you are a personality like that and you participate in this stupid ass drama. Like I don't get it, but you know, it clearly has made him some money. Clearly, it's been profitable
YouTube
for him.
or this incident.
No, I don't know about this incident. Probably not. Probably net failure for that. But like, I would say getting up there. So clearly, he's doing something right. But I think that the issue is that people seem to think that this is a infinite resource, that it is a stable career, and unless you are at the very tip top, and even then, it may not be guaranteed. I feel like it's not a guaranteed income forever. Like
No, it's not.
Some people just don't plan their exit strategies with this sort of stuff. Like, because think about it. If you attach your name in a very public way, and you also like, you don't behave necessarily like an author or like someone who is just like, hey, here's me, here's like this thing that I do, and you know, that's it. I'm going to leave my personal life personal. Right. You run the risk because like now you got to think of like, okay, now that I'm not doing YouTube anymore, or now that I'm shying away from that sort of stuff, I still need to make a living. Mm-hmm. The first thing that any employer is going to do is going to Google your name. Yeah. And if they see fucking Sailor Mars, Spread Eagle, under Google image
there's that one chick that does that. I mean, like, I hate to be like put the genders in it, but
yeah.
Granted, our world isn't fair, so people have to rely on this sometimes. But like, the girls are the worst ones at this stuff. To where like they sell like their pictures of themselves for like Patreon and like for money and stuff. It's like, yes, I really wish that girls didn't have to do that, but at the same time, you're still choosing to do that. And it's like that one chick, Bella something, but she does the cosplay stuff, and I'm sure she's only like 18, 19.
Yeah.
You're starting your life, your adult life like this. So
yeah,
it's only going to come back to bite you because there's only people are going to get tired of you.
Yeah.
Like they're going to get tired because once your picture's out there, they have the same pictures. Like it's weird. I
think there's only so many times you can stick out your tongue and look up at the ceiling. So that's just me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just fucking, I don't know. So like, yeah, you're right. It's like, what are you going to do when you're 25?
See, that's kind of the thing.
And it's not like she makes that much money doing it.
Well,
Enough.
She makes a lot of money, but I think the danger with that is that if you give a 19-year-old this income all of a sudden, like they're not going to just double back and just invest all of it and start maybe opening up stock options. Like they're like, I'm going to buy a fucking Ferrari.
Could you fucking imagine? See, what y'all don't know, I'm about to start a Fortune 500 company.
She makes like this Instagram post. She's got glasses. She's like, all right, this is it. I've successfully started investing in machine learning. And
oh, man, that would be some.
But, like, that's the thing. I am just so – I just don't get it. Because, like, I think even if you were going to put yourself out there – and I've done that with my name. But, like, again, I've tried to keep my own, personal life personal and, my work. And the podcast is kind of a little bit of a, riding that line a little bit. But it's not like, I'm going to live stream my, my morning and watch me wake up, scratch my ass, make some coffee. Like, hey, what's up, guys? This is Alex. How's it going?
I'm sure I'd, get some views.
Right. But it's just like, I mean, once you put that stuff out there, it's not going to go away. And if you get your name attached to that sort of stuff, what is going to happen when you go back and try and reintegrate into life, like in the real world? Because unless you make it super big, like I'm talking PewDiePie levels, like where he has been successful this long enough without significant controversy, and that could be subjective.
And at the age that he is.
And at the age that he has been smart, and I'm sure at this point he just has an accountant that just does all that stuff for him. He's probably set for life. So
I'm pretty sure he makes like $14 million a year.
That's so crazy. Good for him.
Something around that. I looked that number like a year and a half ago, I remember.
Yeah.
And that was the number. So it may be more because he's got way more subscribers since a year and a half ago.
Well, so I think that like
it's also ads too, which is mainly his income.
But it's just like I'm wondering just how would you go out into the workforce after that, after some sort of crazy controversy?
Hey, look, man, I was a kid. I was dumb. I was stupid. It's the same spiel everyone has.
Yeah, I guess, but like
I didn't know that this would happen.
But if I was like a hiring manager and Jared comes to me and I Google him and I see that all this controversy with his stuff and I see his lewd pictures or whatever, I may not say it to his face, but like I'm not going to call him back. Like, we've got your resume on file, but we're not going to like try and move forward with
But
this
the
stuff.
thing is with that is two things. One is because he's public, that stuff matters. Because no one's going to find that stuff out unless it becomes public, obviously.
Yeah.
And two, I think if you just take out half of his situation, he would be fine. So if it was just the divorce and like him cheating, as bad as it is, he would still be fine in the workforce.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's the nudes and the underage girl thing. That's what's going to be like, all right, dude, first of all, get some help.
Yeah.
And second, get the fuck out of my office.
I think that, we might see some sort of emerging crisis as we get all these people who have had their 15 minutes and are now trying to become, regular members of society. You have this. I don't think that the employment gap would be a big deal because you could always just be like, hey, I'm self-employed and I've done this and I've entertained this and I've built all these, personable skills, communication skills, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you could be in the background.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean,
he could be he could be a part of a production company.
Yeah, you for sure could swing that, but I think you have to kind of come out of that without being marred by a significant controversy,
or fail a whole bunch of times until you just like, fuck, it's like the 8th interview I've gotten denied at.
Yeah,
like it just.
I don't honestly. I don't know. I think that making that.
You'd have to have one hell of a year of giving back or something to like get people back in your good graces. Just let them know that you're sorry, but no one's going to take the time to commit to that. That's what's going to have to take.
But dude, I just have this.
You can't just go about life.
Yeah, well, I just have this issue of the disgusting to me is this disgusting kind of use of power for him soliciting his own fans or whatnot.
It's the same thing that fucking what the gay dude did. James Charles.
Oh, that guy.
He's fucking trying to get gay, straight men to be gay because he's famous. So he thinks that people like, if I'm famous and rich enough, they'll sleep with me no matter what, even if they are straight.
Huh.
And he'll do it with people who like have girlfriends and shit too.
I saw that.
They try to
pop
abuse
up,
their
but I didn't
fame.
really
Is what you're just saying. You're trying to abuse his fame.
It's just disgusting. I don't know. It
was pretty funny. One of the guys has or he used to date like one of the hot Instagram models or something. And
which one?
I don't know. That was one of them. And then he showed a screenshot of James Charles like sliding into his DMs, and he was like, "Come on, you guys give these guys way too much props. Like he's not even good at this." He denies it straight away too in the DMs too. So he's like, "Nah, I'm straight as an arrow, bro."
That's hilarious.
We good. Like, get out of here.
That's fucking hilarious.
It's just interesting. Like, why do people feel like once they become a certain somebody, they can just, without being an owner or something? It's like they're all like people like. They're YouTubers. They're not owners of companies, so they're not used to like telling people what to do type thing.
Yeah.
But they feel like all of a sudden now that I have money and I'm a influencer, now I can tell you some guy I've never seen before that you're hot, and that means you're gonna like come and sleep with me.
Well, I think that a lot of these people that get really prominent, especially on Instagram, and I don't know what his background is. I saw his name pop up, and I think. A lot of it is like this, hey, I want this attention and I want this acceptance and I think I can get away with almost anything.
Right.
I mean, I can't even imagine the hubris on this Jared guy to send these kind of pictures to, young underage girls and think like, oh, because they're fans of mine or whatever, that I won't get in trouble for it, or I won't.
We haven't even heard anything like if his reasoning behind it either. He's
know.
pretty silent about it, but I mean, as he probably should be, because the more he says, the more he's going to dig a hole.
Yeah.
But at some point, some guys probably would have said like, "Yo, look, I thought that they were this age, and they look older than that they are." Like that would be someone could understand, not like agree with, but understand, right? You don't condone it, but you can understand how you could mistake that if you saw the evidence. Like, oh, okay. Well, but he doesn't even say anything like that, to where it's like, dude, as of right now, you knew they were underage.
I bet you that it is because someone has told him to not say anything about that.
That's what he's really looking at, is that. Not really, because I think people will get over the cheating thing, which is, it's terrible.
You know what? I don't give a shit. I mean, it's not great. I don't,
Right.
But it's not, again, it's not like this deal breaker for me in terms of like I can never watch this stuff again.
That's what Pete was saying. He was like, I can separate the personal from YouTube. Like your YouTube content, your video didn't change now that you've done this. Like it's still a good video.
Yeah. But like
at the same time, it kind of, like for me, not Pete, but for me, it doesn't make me want to go back to your page because now I'm looking at somebody who's just a creeper, just a weird creeper, and it's like, oh man, it just makes you disinterested, even if it's something I'm really looking forward to, and you have a really good opinion about video game reviews, and I really need to hear that opinion. Fuck that! I can't get through your video because now I'm just thinking about all the cringy things you've said and.
I think there's a threshold for that sort of stuff where it's like I can divorce the art from the artist a lot, but like in terms of like people I don't agree with politically or, infidelity, as long as it's, whatever they do in their own time, as long as it's between two consenting adults, maybe, whatever.
Well, obviously not.
Well, you know what I mean. Consider with the other one, but like the mistress or whatnot. But I think there's a threshold for me where it's like, okay, when you're crossing the line into pedophilia or you're crossing the line into like, weird cosplay pictures or what. Again, I don't want to say that's like bad because clearly, there's plenty of people out there that like that stuff, but it just doesn't do it for me. It's not for me. But then it kind of gets dicey for me, I think, where it's like I can't fully. It's like have you ever heard of Lost Prophets, the band?
Nope.
Okay, I used to really love their music growing up as a kid, and there was a controversy within the band where the lead singer was arrested for pedophilia, but like
right.
extreme, very disgusting. I can't listen to them at all, like period, because I cannot. That's like one thing where I cannot divorce that heinous act from the artist. Was the lead singer like convicted of the crime? Yes.
Like, was it proven?
Yes.
So that's probably why.
He's in prison.
That's probably why, because my favorite artist of all time still is Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And his music, everyone knows his music is great.
Right.
But everyone also knows the guy was a weirdo.
Yes.
And he was in that realm of pedophilia and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I can distinguish the art and the artist, too, with that specific example because I think if he would have been convicted for all that stuff and it would have been proven, like without a doubt, or even if not even without a doubt, if he was just barred for it, I think I'd have that feeling that you have. But since he was just kind of like, because I'm a big believer, like you can say anything you want about me. Someone could say something about me, like as soon as we leave this booth, like you did this. Let's make it true, man. Like, and it's only bigger when you're like obviously a big megastar like that. Like, you know how many people were trying to get you to do something wrong or like to slander your name?
Yeah, like that to me.
I'm not quick to believe that stuff.
Yeah, that to me too. Like when I first saw that picture of him in that compromising position in that cosplay outfit, my first instinct was almost like, and maybe this is a flaw of mine, I always try and like give the benefit of doubt to people. And I'm like, okay, clearly he took the picture, but what about the context behind the picture? Like, is it really in an attempt to solicit someone underage? Because I feel like if someone, and this is just plain devil's advocate here, I feel like if someone has that sort of compromising picture of you and they are anonymous on the internet, they could almost have you by the balls and construct any story around that. I think if he was trying, and again, devil's advocate, I am not going to bat for this guy at all. I don't give a shit. So I'm just saying that, like, hypothetically, someone could construct a narrative. I think that if you were trying to pick up underage girls posing in a Sailor whatever costume is maybe not.
Sailor Mars.
Sailor Mars costume is not probably the first thing to do to get? It seems more like a blackmail, weird fetish thing or whatever. I don't know.
It's like you see in videos, so like not videos, but movies.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, just in case you don't want to stay quiet, put this on. If you talk, these are going out.
Yeah. Yeah. So like again, like I don't know. I'm not jumping to his defense at all.
So what do you think the next YouTube crisis is going to be? Because it's going to happen. 2019 is the year of the crisis. Crises. I think it's crises. It is crises.
Again, I don't follow that many YouTubers to really care that much.
Or what do you think the incident's going to be? It all starts with an incident, not the tuber.
Put that on a shirt. If I had to make a wager, I would say that we maybe see a similar interpersonal relationship falling out, and the reason why it becomes another big story is because there is some sort of real world serious consequence for that person.
And it's going to be some like beloved guy that no, it can't be true.
Maybe. I don't know.
So I think the next thing is going to be, they're going to flip the script. It's going to be merch, like something wrong with their merch, like not giving the sales or not giving proper, like, I would say, not care, but not giving the right ones. Like something's going to be wrong with their merchandising to where fans are going to be upset. It's going to be a big thing where it's like, oh, you didn't send it to me and it's all messed up, or something's going to be wrong with that. I think that's going to be the next like big scandal.
Okay, I would like to redact what I said. You saying that has kind of jogged my memory. I think what is going to be the next big scandal with YouTube is going to be something building upon them deplatforming people. And it's going to be, because I feel like we're at this weird breaking point.
Yeah, like this tipping point,
it's like
point, climax, whatever you want to call it. The YouTube war, the YouTube
I don't know.
YouTubeocalypse
I don't
is
even
upon
know
us.
if I should say some of this shit because it's so
you
weird
are on
right
YouTube.
now. Well,
they're watching.
But even that, like with Twitter and Facebook, deplatforming all these people, and I'm very conflicted because I am a strong proponent of free speech, and these are not people that I want to go to bat for either. So I don't know. I think we're in a weird place where we are going to see probably in the next 5 years, if not sooner, this stuff become a part of like social media, like Twitter and Facebook become a part of the government, become a part of a government service. 100%.
No.
I will guarantee it. I will guarantee
shot.
it.
100%. The government. Mm-hmm. How's that going to work?
Because think about it. The founding fathers couldn't possibly predict the method in which we're communicating now. That the town crier and the public forums of discourse are literal online public forums, sometimes with Discord. So you like that? So basically, they've privatized this sort of town square where people are talking, and they basically, based on their ideology, are able to censor and eliminate freedom of speech on that specific platform. And I think there is going to be a tipping point where something is happening or something happens where they do that to maybe one too many people or one too many, or maybe just a wrong person in general. And the government's going to step in and be like, okay, if you want to take taxpayer money, if you want to continue to operate at such a prolific level, because even the president of the United States is like a part of that public. That's so crazy for me to think about, but that just kind of tells you how important that stuff is. And Twitter, that he's tweeting, and tweeting almost won him probably the election in some weird way. But I have a feeling.
Idiots won him the election.
It's true, 100%.
Did you hear what he recently said about the abortion shit?
It's probably some stupid shit, if I had to guess.
It was so stupid. He was like, they take the baby out, they wrap it in beautiful clothes, and then they choose whether or not to execute the baby. No, that's not what happens. That's just execution. It's not abortion. I'm not for it at all.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, do you really not know? Like that's just straight up execution of a child. That's not what the conversation is. But go ahead. Like that's the type of shit and people are like, yeah, at the rally. Yeah, don't do that. Like, yeah, obviously don't do that. And then there's this thing with Alabama that just happened. Did you see all that?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, fuck, that's another story. But
yeah, I mean, we're gearing up, and probably it's going to start getting political in the next. This probably starting this summer is when we'll start seeing more campaigns going. But anyway, my prediction is that there will be some sort of tipping point where the government will step in and say, okay, you are either a publisher or you are a platform. And when you start removing people off of your website or whatever, you then become a publisher. So then you have to be accountable for what is published on your platform. Then it opens up a litany of this is how they're going to do it. It's going to open up a litany of legal issues about people conspiring or, threatening violence. And the government is going to see that and be like, okay, because you have chosen to censor some people, you have given up your rights as a free platform. You have censored it or modified it enough that we need to step in or some sort of way. I don't know exactly the right way to do it. But you're forgetting that
this is a global thing. This isn't just the United States that's involved with Facebook.
That's true.
It's not just the United States with Twitter.
Mm-hmm. I 100% believe that.
Censorship is different everywhere. So you can't really get rid of it all unless you just regulate it. Facebook is only for United States. Like there's only so many ways you can do that, and by then you're gonna drop your user base. As soon as that happens, everyone's gone, and then the next guy's like, "Oh, this is my opportunity to make a copycat," and then I'm gonna be a millionaire making Twatter or Tweeter. Sorry, I didn't mean Twatter, but like a copy, something that's similar to it. It's like no one's gonna go for that.
I don't know. I think it's. I'm sorry.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think I'm sorry that we had to kind of start wrapping up because we only got 15 minutes left on this topic because I want to talk more about this and I think it's really fascinating. But I think we are reaching a precipice, a boundary line here where the government is going to step in and they will use that excuse that, hey, because you are censoring and deplatforming people, that means you are actively engaged in the content that your users are publishing. So we are now going to hold you accountable for what is being published. And Facebook will be like, I don't want any part of that. And then they will reach some sort of agreement where it becomes a government utility or something. I don't know. I can't even imagine. I didn't even imagine we'd be having this conversation, 7-8 years ago. And so I can't imagine what form it'll take. But I think the way Facebook and Twitter exist now in this capacity will not be the same by I would almost say 2020. It's probably too ambitious or too overzealous. I'd say probably 2021. I think Trump is going to do something crazy with it.
I have to disagree with you.
Okay.
Just humbly disagree with you.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
For the reasons I already said, but I don't think – I mean, when you start throwing government into things, usually – for the most part, yes, they become uniform, but at the same time, nothing really gets accomplished the way that it's envisioned.
Yeah, I 100%. I'm not advocating
for
this.
A lot of things usually go thrown into chaos, and you'll generate more chaos and more uproar by doing that than the stuff that's already going on now.
Yeah,
because you can put out these small fires here and there. You could just, you got a plan. Like, all right, fires are going to happen here. We gotta be ready. You gotta have our people ready to put them out. But if you just choose to blatantly set it on fire yourself and just take control, like, you know what, I'm so tired of these just random fires, just fuck it. Just burn it all down. Then you don't know what the hell is going to happen or how things are going to react. And I don't think people are too keen about the unknown. So they're just going to control what they can control.
I think we're leaving a golden age right now, and we won't realize it for another year or two. But I think this is like the final probably year. And I think again, like I talked at the beginning of this episode, I think 2019 is going to be the conclusion. You like that? I think 2019 is going to be the end of a lot of things. And I think that we will start to see, maybe not overtly, maybe not like 100% like, okay, 2020, now everything's different. I think we will start to see it decline. And I think that, we're entering this weird murky water where people are saying that mentioning certain names and stuff like that on Facebook is
prohibited.
And so I think the government is going to see that as their opportunity to get in there. Again, I'm just saying what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not like
I feel like you
fan
have
of government.
I feel like you really want it to happen just so you can come out and say, "Oh,
I do.
I knew it.
I do because I want Dante's
So
going
you'd
to
rather
Smash.
you'd rather the destruction of what we know as free speech, just so you could say I knew it.
Fuck. Well, it'd be funny for a bit, but I don't think I really want the ramifications of that.
Well, you know
Here's
where
what's
to
going to
find
happen.
you.
Michelle Obama's going to run. First prediction in episode 2. She's going to run against Trump. Dante and Smash. By 2021, Facebook and Twitter will not exist in the capacity they do right now in terms of...
Well, that's an easy general statement.
Well, just in the context of the conversation we just had, I think there's going to be some radical changes to it. Well, so if you don't see that happening, do you think it's going to continue as is or what? Like social media?
It will continue as is until I don't see any other than tweaks to the the code, but the actual structure and how you're supposed to use it and how to use it, I think nothing really will change until they decide to just straight up get rid of it all, because they can't censor it just based off of the United States, because it was created in the United States, so it's the United States.
Well, it's
company.
not censoring though. I think that the argument is that some people think that Facebook is starting to censor people from having quote unquote free speech.
So that is censor.
But that's what Facebook is doing right now.
Right.
I'm saying what the government's going to step in and do and make it give us the same rights that you and I have in real life, and apply those to those platforms.
How would you do that?
Have them how they originally were, like just basically like you take it back like 5-6 years, and you have that conspiracy theorist Alex Jones just be like, the fucking tap water is going to make the frogs gay. And, he's just in his own little corner of the internet, being able to do whatever the hell he wants on Facebook and on Twitter or whatever. I think that is what maybe ideally, even though I don't like siding with that kind of stuff, but I do want to defend what I perceive as free speech.
Right. So you either have to give it all 100% free speech, or you have to take it all away, or you're going to have something, some type of chaos. Like you can't have it in the middle, because that's when you start censoring. That's when you start saying you can't do this, and people are like, wait, well, why not?
That's what we have. Right?
What the
I
hell?
think we are talking about similar things.
No,
here.
I know. That's what I'm agreeing with you. Where it's like you can't have a middle ground with this, because where the middle ground is where chaos is.
That's true.
I'm sure there's going to be some guys way smarter than us that figure out a way to do it, but maybe in 2040.
Yeah.
When it's not as, I don't think social media will really be a thing in 2040, to be honest.
I think
because
you're right.
fads come and go, and I'd consider this a fad.
I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But predictions are predictions. Let us know what you guys think about whatever the hell we said today.
See, I have
Give us your opinions. We want to hear them.
This shotgun spread approach, where like one of these predictions has got to be right, just by sheer quantity of ones I throw out there.
Dude.
At least one of them has to be right, please.
Dude.
Right.
Fucking writing rooms must love you. It's like that one Key and Peele skit with Stan Lee. Like, he dressed up as Stan Lee. He's like, "Here are my new heroes." He's like, has like 10 of them. They're all like, "What the fuck?" It's exactly what it reminds me of.
It's pretty good. All right. Well, we've wasted enough of your guys' time, but we got off topic. I guess my main takeaway from the ProJared stuff is like, hey, when you do this YouTube stuff, and if you're already a prominent YouTuber, start planning your exit strategy, because, at some point, unless you are a part of the 0.0001%, and if you're listening to this, you're probably not. So at some point, you are going to have to reintegrate back into the real world, and you need to hopefully be able to face what you've done, and hopefully it's nothing. But hopefully you don't send
and it's always something that starts out
pictures.
So innocent. Like ProJared, I'm just gonna review things I love, video games.
Yeah, right.
And all of a sudden you're in this whirlwind of
Sailor Moon,
whatever the hell.
Yeah.
It is. Same thing with Etika. I'm just gonna sit here and talk about Nintendo.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, what the hell's going on? The YouTube apocalypse is coming.
I don't know if human beings were meant to have this sort of like huge
All this
engagement.
power.
Yeah. No one man should have all
I know
this
about
power.
finishing it because.
Hey.
Okay.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Wrap it up.
All right, so we have the Digital Fireside up on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Please go ahead and subscribe to that if you can. I know it's asking a lot, but we are on social media as well. You can find me on Twitter at Alexander D. Hall. Feel free to tweet me and tell me how shitty my hot takes have been today. I can't wait to hear the feedback on this. It's going to be a good one. I'm only half serious some of the time. And my Snapchat is also Real Alex Hall. You can watch me post filters of myself just like every other fucking person on Snapchat. It's great. Luke, where can
You're a real leader there, Alex.
where can people find you, Luke?
You can find me on Twitter, Indie Chubbs with 2 B's.
2 B's.
It's Indie Chubbs.
Yes.
And the same goes for Instagram. Follow our Instagram together, which is the Digital Fireside.
That's right.
Now up. It's got
Now
3
up.
posts. Go give us a follow.
Yeah. Follow us
You
on
know?
that. And we also have a Facebook page, The Digital Fireside, as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's true, yeah.
yeah, we should have another episode dropping here soon. I need to get around to editing the one with Kenzie.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Really dragged my feet with
Yeah,
that.
that's fine though. But yeah, shoot us whatever. Let us know how it's going. Really, feedback.
Feedback.
We need
anything. We need it. We love it. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the response to the questions answered stuff too. That was fun to make. People really like that.
Yeah, it was fun.
So, also, if you want to write in and again weigh in on our shitty hot takes, you can reach us at contact CONTACT at thedigitalfireside.com.
Also, I kind of want to ask if you guys have any suggestions as to like what type of guest maybe you'd like to see.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Like what type of area of expertise you want to see on the show or
Yeah.
whatever. Just let us know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. It's been real fun, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace.
See you. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Fireside. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. You can write in at contact@thedigitalfireside.com. We'll see you guys next time.